That's a blood vessel. We want to get that out of there. Going to get underneath it. And you've all got it, don't worry. I'm telling you, not one of you doesn't have it. And you're going to just get it out of there. And you may feel some cartilage where the bone was starting to develop. You may feel that. Take it out. We don't want that in our finished product. Boom, there it is. Okay, that's a blood vessel. See, it's still got a little bit of blood in it. All right. Now, what would happen, do you think, if we left this? Pardon?
It would be really minerally or whatever.
Well, yeah, taste-wise, but what do you think? Well, look at that look. What does it look like after that's cooked?
Like a really tough, sinewy.
It's going to look like a worm.
Yeah.
It's going to look like a worm. I've seen it cooked. It's going to look like there's a worm in your stew. You don't want that. How do you explain that to a customer? There's a worm in my stew. No, no, no. That's just a blood vessel we forgot to take out. How do you explain that? All right? Take the extra 10 seconds and do it right. You don't have to explain anything. So much easier. Okay? All right. Okay. So the vessel is out. Now this is that solid piece that we started with. You're going to take and you're going to follow the natural seam and take that apart. Natural seam. Okay? Once you have it apart, then you're going to finish it. You've already done the outside. Now on the inside, you got a little bit more that you couldn't get to before. Okay, cut that off. Cut that off. Got a little bit of touch up to do. Go ahead and do it. Don't get too crazy with it. So you got, see that heavy piece of tendon right there? That's part of the Achilles tendon. Cut that off. Goes over there. All right, now this is actually a separate muscle right here. If you take this off, it's okay. If you don't take it off, it's still okay. But that piece right there, you can clean that up, and we can put that, and we can use that for cubes, because that's going to be our next process. All right. Notice I'm not trying to go inside. I'm just working at the surface. Here I can take a little bit more off of here that I couldn't get before because it was still on the bone. Just a little bit more here. But please, don't go under, because this tendon will run all the way through. And as this one will run all the way through. If you start trying to get in there and take those out, you have nothing left. This piece right here now is finished. Done. Vacuum pack team, who's your vacuum pack team? Okay, 2 each in a bag. 2 each, okay? All right, now we're gonna go back to this piece, and now you're gonna finish denuding this piece, and we're gonna make 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch cubes. Okay, so that's height, width, and length. All have to be the same. Okay, so here I can see that I've exposed this now. Let me get a little bit more of this off. Okay, turn it over. I'm pretty clean with there. I'm gonna be okay with that. This little piece over here, let's see if we can clean that up a little bit better. Okay. Now the best way to start your cubes, well, let's get that cleaned up a little bit better. It's all usable. Okay. Okay. So the cubes are going to be 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch, as I said. The way you're going to make the cubes is you're going to start. You got to give yourself a straight wall to work with. So very cautiously and conservatively, give yourself a little straight edge to work with. See, I didn't go in here 2 inches to get a straight edge. I went in just a little bit, just to give me a straight wall to work with. All right? A little tendon there to get rid of. Now, this is where you're going to measure over your 1 inch. You would use your ruler, I would hope, and cut right through. Okay? Again. Again. This is where you're using your larger knife, your slicing knife. Turn it the other way if it's more comfortable. Taking my time to make sure that my first cut is accurate. Because if your first cut is not accurate, it just dominoes down to where none of them are accurate, okay? Usable. Again. And again. Now, see a piece like this, you look at that and say, that's not big enough. I look at that and say, let me see if I can make it. Might not be big enough. All right, so we'll come back to that. Okay, so now I got our pieces that are 1 inch thick. They're obviously much wider and they're much longer than we want them to be. So now, again, you start the process again. If you need to make yourself a little straight wall, again, you do it very conservatively. And you look at this piece, you say, I can get 1, maybe 2. Well, I want quality before quantity at this level. At this level, quality before quantity. You learned how to do it well, and efficiency will come by itself. Right? So at this level, I want you to give me good 1 inch cubes. If I get a little bit more trim than I'm supposed to get, so be it. But at least you're going to understand what a 1 inch cube is supposed to look like. All right? Okay, so here we go. Over, cut through, put that over here now. Okay? I look at this and I say, okay, not really, but you know what? I think maximum utilization is the master key to success. You utilize every piece that you have. But remember, we still got to get into that term of quality, all right? So I look at this and say, okay, I can't really do anything with this, but I sure can do something with this. Now just trim that up a little bit more. So you're the sculptor, you're the tailor, you're the dressmaker, you're the suit maker. You're making these cubes the way you want them to be. Again, now look, I got a nice straight wall here to begin with. I don't need to trim that. Let's go back, here we go. 1 inch. Here, look at this one. Until it comes down to here. 1 inch. You understand the idea? Okay, let me just go through these real quick. Good. I mean, we're satisfied with that? I am. Okay. See, I'm the sculptor. I'm the tailor. I keep a nice edge on my knife so it's always nice and sharp. 1 inch. Trim. Now we take our strips. And we square off the end a little bit, because it needs it usually. And now we're going to start making our cubes. There's a saying in the meat business, if it looks alike, it cooks alike. So, but there's no way in hell that at your level, you're going to make these cubes perfect. It's not going to happen. I can't even make it perfect 43 years later. But what I can give you is a reasonable tolerance so that they will cook properly. So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to measure off, I want you to square off your end, so it's nice and square. I want you to measure off your 1 inch and cut a cube. Measure off an inch, cut a cube. And I'll show you that there is no way that these are perfect. But what I do have are cubes that are of a reasonable tolerance, so that they will cook the same. Again, we'll clear off the edge. Now this one I got a little bit big on one side, so I'm going to tailor it. One little quick sweep, and I got almost a perfect cube. Go again. See, when I cut, I put my finger over it, so when I pull it back, I don't get a tail on the cube. Gives you a nice clean edge. Okay. Okay. Now today, and only today I'm sure, I don't even know if Chef Schneller even does this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Today I'm gonna give you a cube to take back to your table as a model. All right, I'm gonna give you a cube to take back as a model. What you're gonna do with that cube is you're gonna lay that cube on the table. You're gonna put it inside a little box, okay? Make sure it stays in its box. Then you're gonna take your strip, you're gonna lay it right up against there. And then you're gonna cut. Then you're gonna cut again. And you're always gonna cut to that cube. End, trim, trim. So now at this point, would you agree that we have all the cubes are within a reasonable tolerance?
The chef.
Why? Because I gave you the model. I gave you the model, all right? Okay, as you're cutting your